Mark Donovan from HomeEditionPlus.com. I wanted to show you my finished bunkhouse. This is actually a bunkhouse that was built in 1947, but it was in really rough shape. Paint was falling off, the boards and windows that were here were in really disarray. And so what I did is I removed the whole front of this bunkhouse, framed up a new wall, put in new windows, new door, sided it, and basically converted something that was in complete disrepair into a really nice aesthetic accoutrement, if you will, to the property. So I want to show you a few of the details and take you on in the inside to see what we did as well. Here's a picture of the bunkhouse prior to the renovation. As you can see, the windows were not standard type of window. It was just a large screen with plexiglass over it that was very difficult to remove. And it was a similar case with the door. So actually the first thing I did is I replaced the old rotted deck that was sitting here. Made a 2x6 pressure treated framing, wrapped it with some 1x material. Actually this is AZEK material, and then put some decking boards on top and put a clear stain on it. I actually did this past May. It needs another coat of stain on it to seal the deck for the winter, and we'll get that done soon. So for the bunkhouse itself, I started out by first inspecting the underside of the structure. And sure enough, it was sound. Even though it was built in 1947, the framing, the floor joists were all solid. I did go in and decide to add an additional floor joist toward the front of it for some added rigidity. But beyond that, that's all I needed to do in the flooring to get it up to a structural integrity that I wanted. Then I removed all of this wall, reframed it with standard 2x4 studding, put in 2 new windows, Anderson windows, and a screen door, and then sheathed it with plywood, and then put on this cedar shingle material on the front of it. On the sides, it's actually cedar clapboard, but I wanted a little bit of a different look here in the front of the bunkhouse. Here's a picture of the bunkhouse after I completed the rough framing. So I'll go into the bunkhouse and I'll show you what the inside looks like. So what I wound up doing here is using beadboard for the walls, at least the front side of the bunkhouse, and we've painted that already. And I still got some beadboard along the perimeter, the lower perimeter of the bunkhouse that needs to be painting, but other than that, that's all that's necessary. Again, we installed these nice new windows. Gives us a fantastic view of Lake Winnipesaukee out here. And again, we can open those windows and have nice screen, kind of a screen porch as well. For the flooring, what I did was I wound up taking 1x8, not 1x8 material, but 1/8 inch thick, like Luan material, and laying that down over the existing decking material and screwing that in place. So nothing too fancy there. We're going to put a carpet in here, and that's all we're going to do. As a matter of fact, whether or not this becomes a bunkhouse is another question. We'll most likely just use it more of a screen room now going forward versus the bunk beds that were in it in the past. On the ceiling, all we did was paint it. We painted the entire bunkhouse white on the walls, but painted the brown on the ceiling. We actually have electricity in here as well, so we're put a nice little refrigerator in here to help us during those hot summer days. I will say this screen door was a major undertaking. First of all, could not find a door that actually fit the opening on this bunkhouse. So I had to take an existing screen door, cut out a section, splice it back together, had to add hardware onto it to lock it in place, both in terms of lock mechanism as well as the door handle. Then I wanted to try to prevent some of the rain or moisture or snow that could get in during the wintertime, so I wound up having to put plexiglass on the surface of it. Come up with a solution that allows me to easily remove the plexiglass during the summer months and put it on during the winter months. But this took a lot of trial and error and effort to get this door to work properly the way I wanted it to. In regards to the overall cost and effort to do this project, it was about $1,000 in material and probably about 8 of my weekends to get this project done. Much of the effort was a result of having to deal with a non-square, unlevel, and somewhat racked building, again because it's so old. Something to think about if you ever decide to buy an old house. A lot of difficulty in doing a lot of structural framing work and even finished work when walls aren't straight. But we love it. It's come out perfect the way we wanted it, and we're going to enjoy it for many summers to come. If you have other home improvement questions, make sure to visit homeeditionplus.com today.